Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. Hope you're having a good Sunday. As you can see, mine is, well, muted. I'm having a muted Sunday. Good God. You know, that one, if anybody wants to call me a boomer for it, that was a true boomer moment. So usually I'm muted, and then Jack gets here, and I unmute myself to talk to Jack for a moment before the show. And so that was just a habit one right there. Whoops. What was I saying? I'm tired. That's what I'm saying. I got up really late today. By my standards, I got up at 7 p.m., guys. And I got to get my schedule fixed. I have to get my schedule fixed because they're coming to replace my heater. Yes. Not this Monday, but the following Monday. I also need to turn down my volume before I blow my ears out. Thank you, Dark Resurrect. Save me. I'm stuck at work 2 hours past my time. Dude, I hope they let you out soon. Because working past your time, if you don't know it's coming, actually, I always preferred it if I didn't know it was coming. For some reason, it made it easier than damn it. I'm only at 8 hours and I got 10 to go when I'm supposed to be 2 to go. When it's normally just 10 or 8. Fuck, I can't do math right now. Snort some Red Bull. I don't think that'll help. Dark Resurrect, thank you. Also, howdy Monkin chat, hooligans. Howdy, sir. Hope the night is treating you well so far, even being there 2 hours past time. I got to get on the normal schedule, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. How I'm going to do it. Excuse me. Beth says, go to bed if you're tired. I'm not actually tired, guys. This is medicine kicking in. You guys know this happens about an hour after I take my medicine. And it's that part is kicking in. It'll pass in a moment. I apologize to anybody who's trying to wake up and hearing me yawn. Sorry about that. We got some stuff to talk about tonight. Let's start with the troll from last night, the one who was in my DMs. They fucking blocked me. They blocked me. They talked shit in my DMs and then blocked me. I don't understand why people do that. I have that happen on Twitter itself. They'll pick a fight with me on Twitter, not in my DMs, and then get mad that I answer back. This is Kyle. Thank you so much. Who says, hello, chat people and monkey. Hello, Kyle. Hope you're well. I don't get the people who are rude to others and then block. I'm rarely rude. Okay, let me think about how I want to state this. I'm sometimes rude to people. I'm rude to people. But a lot of the times I'm not mean, I might say something reflecting on how stupid they are, but I'm rarely just like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm usually very passive aggressive, put it that way. And is that a good way to put it? Okay. Sometimes I'm a jerk, but I'm rarely like a trolly asshole about it, But people will come at me very, very rude. And it's like, go fuck yourself kind of shit. And I reply and they get offended. Now, I had to be very careful how I said that because one of the first things we're going to talk about is this shit guy. I corrected you in Lords of the Night because calling it an AR and assault rifle like videos recorded in portrait. No, you're right, John. You were right to correct me, Jonathan. I wasn't offended by that. I was seriously offended by myself at that because I knew better. I knew AR didn't stand for assault rifle. That was just my brain reminding me what the press always calls it. I've actually argued that AR doesn't stand for assault rifle with people. So anyhow, what was I talking about? Oh, we're going to talk about some people today. And we're going to start with, where'd that pussy ass motherfucker go? This guy, John Pavlovitz. I don't know, Pavlovitz. I don't know who he is. He is a blue check mark who is the author of A Bigger Table, Hope, and Lo. Those are all different books. Unapologetically committed to equality, diversity, compassion, love, and justice. Yeah. Anyhow, he tweeted this. If you still support Donald Trump, you can't effectively troll me because I don't respect your opinion enough to care what you think. Your MAGAs and your Red X and your Q nonsense and your Fox News talking points show me that you and I are morally incompatible. Now, I saw this because he actually tweeted something else about what it means to be a real man. All right, let me help you out here, John. Being a real man is being willing to hear other points of view without immediately deciding you can't talk to that person. You can't troll me effectively. I don't care what you think. All right. You can be that kind of douche if you want to. I don't care. But and I'm not supporting Trump, so I don't care about that either. But anybody who tells me I won't talk to anybody like that. If it's over politics, you're a moron. In fact, you're kind of a puss. You're probably a really big puss. If you don't want to talk to other people with different opinions, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But how are you ever going to learn anything? Karamon says, real men don't scream, I don't care about your opinion like a child. True. Now, there's a difference between I don't care what you think and I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say. I don't care what somebody thinks about me. There's very few people that I want to like me. Everybody else, I hope they like me. But if they don't, that's just life. So I don't care what you think about me. I'm still willing to listen to your opinion on it, though. There's a reason my DMs are open. It's so you guys can reach out if you want to. And I want to address that in a moment. But it's also so if somebody doesn't like me, they can throw their opinion in there too. I'm an open book, you guys. I'm an open book. Okay, I'm not an open book, but everybody can come out and talk to me. I'm not that kind of shithead. By all means, if you have a different opinion, throw it out there. I'm happy to hear it. I still might think you're an idiot, but the Batman says, I have a positive opinion of you, Ranting Monkey. I appreciate that. Like I said, I don't want to be hated. There's people out there. I'm glad people hate me. I don't want to be hated. It's, just the price of being human. You're not going to please everybody. Even, you ever hear something like, he passed and everybody loved him. Everybody, I'm sure you can find at least one person who's like, I'm glad that prick's dead. Which, by the way, not a good way to be. But, I mean, it happens. It just happens. It's part of being human. You just can't please everyone. Because some people are jackasses. That being said, in my DMs, I've gotten this very this a couple of times recently, so we're going to address it real fast. We're not going to dwell, but because of all of my pain I've been in, I've gotten several people who have offered me suggestions on how to help myself. I appreciate them all, I really do, but none of them will work because there's things that can go wrong with your body that you can fix. This isn't one of them. My spinal cord at C5, if you guys know where that's at in your neck, it's almost to your brain. There's only 4 vertebrae above that, and then it gets right into your brainstem. At that point, there's a flaw. And so every signal sent between my brain and the rest of my body is flawed. There's no getting around that. There's no way to fix that. So I appreciate everybody's suggestions. But yeah, there's just no getting to it. Somebody else sent me something. How do I want to put this? Because I don't want to bring too much attention to it. Send me something private. And I really do appreciate that. I appreciate when people keep things that shouldn't be public, not public. And I thank you for that as well. No surgery can fix it. No, Burley. There's nothing that can be done to repair a spinal cord. Just is. Always knew Monk's brain was flawed. Now, Evil Ferret, that may be true, but that's not the problem. It's the cord itself. It's the spinal cord itself. It's kind of like, let's say you had a lamp and you went to plug it in and it didn't always work because there was a short in the cord itself right by the plug. Now, if you wiggle it, sometimes it would work, but most of the time it doesn't because it's not sending the right signals. That's a very simplistic way of talking about it, but there you go. Anyway, like I said, we're not going to dwell on my spine because it is what it is. There are 7C spine bodies starting above first rib. Yeah, if you reach to the back of your neck, that really big one right there that you can feel at the bottom of your neck, that's 7. And there's 6 and 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way up. I know way too much about the cervical spine. I would have never known about the cervical spine if it wasn't for my first surgery. I'm like, I don't know what a C6 is. Now I do. Anyhow, which one should we do first? Let's do Denver first. Denver. There was a shooting there yesterday. Did you share your stream to Twitter, Monkey? I think so. Pretty sure I did. Let's see. Did I? No. I left this open so I could, and then I didn't do it. Thank you, Nuts. Nuts, you are too good to me. Nuts is as close as I have to a producer. She's good at it for what she can do. Thank you so much for reminding me because, yeah, YouTube doesn't like to tell people. YouTube does not like to tell people that people they want to watch have gone live or made a video. Sorry about that. That is the nectar of the gods there. I forgot to fill my drink before the stream. Least professional monkey on the internet, and I'm okay with it. You should be too. Shooting in Denver. You had competing protests yesterday, I guess we'll call them. A BLM one run by communists. Seriously. That's not a joke. That's not me. Oh, Dark Resurrect's leaving work. Have a good night. Drive safely on your way home. That's not me just going, oh, they're communists. It was actually put on by communists. The BLM demonstration there was put on by communists. And then there was a counter protest that was put on by people. As it was breaking up, 2 men got into an altercation. One of them walks off and gets into an altercation immediately with another man. He maces him, and that man pulls out a gun and shoots him. That's what happened. Now, the immediate story was that a conservative got shot. Turns out that's not true. It was the guy who got shot was wearing a BLM shirt. The guy who shot him was a Pinkerton. I didn't even realize the Pinkertons were still around. For those of you who watched the Red Dead Redemption playthrough, the Pinkertons were the ones who were chasing me, the law enforcement guys. That's how old the Pinkerton Detective Agency is. Apparently, they'd been hired as security for somebody. I don't know who. But yeah, the one guy fires mace, the other guy fires a pistol and killed him. The hell is Pinkertons? Pinkertons is a private detective agency that's been around since the 1800s, 1700s. They used to round up cowboys and shit and protect trains and stuff. Didn't the Pinkertons form to hunt down Billy the Kid? I don't believe that's their start. I believe they're older than that. The Pinkertons were already around when the hunt for Billy the Kid started. Dude was shot through the jaw, so I heard he was shot in the face, which, by the way, horrible shooting, Pinkerton. Why would you aim at the face? Why would you aim at the head? Center mass. That is simple training. He was hired by 9 News. Oh man, was that what he was there for? Is that what he's there for? I don't know. I just don't know if this is justified. I'm not sure. To be honest, I have trouble. Sorry, guys. I was taking off my slipper. That's what you just heard. And it hit my desk pretty hard. Yes, I'm an old man. I sit around in slippers, okay? I forgot to grab my socks. Leave me alone. They're also Charger slippers. My daughter got them for me for Christmas one year. They have the bolt across the top of the foot on each side. It's really cool. Anyway, I don't know what to think about this shooting. I don't know Colorado law. I don't know if being maced like that is we know in the the Georgia case that mace is considered a deadly weapon. If it is in Colorado, then it's a justified shooting. I just don't know. I wish I did, so that I had more to say on it. What I will say on it is when Jack tweeted it, and I'd already seen it before Jack tweeted it, but when he tweeted it, he put on there something like things are escalating or it's escalating. And that was my first thought when I heard about the shooting. Like, things are escalating. Things are escalating. Oh, Buster, sorry to hear that. Scoliosis. Like I said, I have metal rods in my back since the day of high school graduation. They are great. My body goes numb. Yay. There are days I would pray for my body to go numb, homie. I get you. It's not, when it's your thing, it's not great. But there's days numb would be wonderful. But with my luck, that would probably just turn the juice up, you know? I don't know what the laws are there. I think we need to just stop shooting people. Just stop shooting people. And there's no way to stop that. There's really not. And people need to be able to defend themselves. So I'm not saying take guns away. I'm saying maybe stop being so quick to shoot. Because that was quick, man. If you've seen the video. Now, there's one video out there I haven't seen, and I know it's out there because I've seen still shots from it. But the other videos that you see, I mean, you hear and then immediately the shot. I mean, it was quick. He shoots while the burst of mace is still in the air. But like I said on Lords of the Night, the guy didn't look like he was Antifa to me. And apparently he's not. So, damn. Maybe it's time to stop all the rioting, you know? Maybe it's time to put an end to all that shit. All the protest. How about the, and I'm not saying, hey, take away their right to protest. No. How about we start actually condemning it as a society like we should be and stop pretending that it's peaceful bullshit? Because this guy went from assaulting, he assaulted the first guy he was arguing with. He went from assaulting him to assaulting the other guy. He slapped him. He slapped him and then sprays him with mace. I forgot to mention the slap. Sorry about that. Slaps him and then sprays him with mace. Maybe it's time to actually start calling these shitheads out. No. It's past time. Way past time. We've been talking about this shit for months. We just passed 4 months of the shit in Portland. We're coming up on 5 months of that shit. Nightly. Every night. Every one. I saw Bill Burr do his little skit on, or his little monologue on Saturday Night Live, where he's talking about how white women have taken over the BLM movement and taken their stuff. It wasn't them. It was Antifa as a whole. It was the communists who did it. Go watch that shit. Go watch what's happening in cities. I mean, you can blame some of it on bitchy white women, sure, because they like to go out in the street and yell at people. But if you go look at what's actually happening, it's just white people in general. It's Antifa. It's just doing it. You're like, it's just an idea. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Stop pretending that Antifa, look, if you're against fascists, then you're Antifa. No, fuck you. Because Antifa are a bunch of communist pricks. They're not. It's just an idea. Really? Really? Because let's go back to its beginning. It was specifically formed to spread communism in Germany. That's what it was for. No, monkey. Yeah, it really was. And then they hooked up with Hitler to help him get into power until Hitler turned on them like he did on everyone else. That is the roots of Antifa. Look it up. It's just an idea, monkey. Is it? No. They are not just Nazi sympathizers, Nazi collaborators. Communist Nazi collaborators. That's what they are. Why do you think they run out there and chant all cops are bastards? A neo-Nazi phrase. You're not supposed to pay attention to that, guys. You are not supposed to notice that. Mighty Balzac, thank you so much. America, you've been behaving worse than the French lately. You know, yeah, we have. We have. And it's time to stop. It's time to stop. The Batman said, I would have said actual Nazis. The thing is, they're not exactly Nazis. They were just Nazi collaborators. They worked with them to help get Hitler into power. They did. That's just fact. Look it up. Don't take my word for this shit when I tell you to look it up. Look it up. It is absolute fact. And they are happy to wear that mantle. It's just an idea. No, it's a group. It's a group, and they need to go away. Because they're the problem right now. They're the problem. Even BLM, I mean, you can't blame BLM for as much violence as they get blamed for. Some of it's their fault. You can certainly say it with the cops getting shot. A lot of the cops are getting shot and have been since BLM burst onto the scene. What was that, after Ferguson? Yeah, they've certainly been encouraging people to take out cops. But the rest of the violence, most of the violence, the actual violence you see, yeah, that's in those little Antifa shits. Buster, thank you so much. Just like Antifa, farting is just a state of mind. Yeah. All right, enough of that shit. We've had this conversation many times, and I don't want to dwell on it too long because I'd rather talk. You know, I almost named this the case against Joe Biden. The case against Joe Biden. And we're going to talk politics tonight, you guys. I'm going to bore the shit out of you with politics tonight. You know, like I've done many nights before. I really need to take my Motrin because I haven't taken any of that in a while. Damn, this bottle's getting empty. Gotta get more. These are the 500 tablet bottles. It's not actual Motrin. It is ibuprofen because don't buy name brand medicine like that. Well, you guys ever watch things like Dateline? Like, what is the difference between a name brand medicine and other kinds of medicine? And it turns out that the difference is sometimes the quality controls are not the same. Like, okay. Where's Jack? Jack's probably asleep, or at least I hope so. The man does not sleep enough. And he was up real late yesterday. I noticed he was still awake a couple hours. I think it was right after the game stream. I noticed he had still been tweeting. So I hope he's sleeping, man. Sometimes he doesn't get some sleep. And this is one of those things I wish this was a real show and that I had the ability to be like, yeah, dude, take a personal day, you know? Check Your Logic says neither do you. Yes, but mine's a little different, you know? If you're perfectly healthy and you're having that kind of trouble sleeping, especially if there's stress in your life, and there's stress in Jack's life, guys. Stuff he doesn't talk about that you don't need to hear about, and I'm not going to tell you about. But the man needs to rest now and then. He needs some rest, and I hope he's getting it. But remember, you can still donate to Jack. Remember, we are brought to you by you. Hit the like button, the share button. And if you would, either buy something from one of our stores so you get yourself something nice. Munko Lantern shirts. I cannot guarantee they'll be there by Halloween, but you can still try. You can still try because we're still early enough in the month. You might get it by Halloween. But there's other shirts and masks and stuff like that. You can also donate. Thank you, Nuts, for dropping the Streamlabs link. Will you still drop Jack's in there if you would, please? The link for his Streamlabs is also down below. So if you'd like to contribute to Jack, which I encourage you to do, please do so. Send him a couple of dollars and wish him sweet dreams. Joseph Biden. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Nuts, she says, yes, thank you so much, sweetheart. Yeah, on this show, please always do both of us if you would. I don't care who you vote for, and I cannot stress this enough that I am not kidding when I say that. I do not care who you vote for. Just don't vote for Joe Biden. Riley Ray says, don't sell masks. That's helping the bullshit narrative. No, I'm helping you cosplay Westerns. Just saying. It's for cosplaying Westerns. You go out there and you pretend that you're robbing a bank with your kids as you play cowboys and Indians at home. Or if you believe in COVID and that masks will help, then you use it for that. I'm just saying, either way, whatever works. Let's see. Joe Biden is a liar. Joe Biden is kind of an idiot. And Joe Biden is losing his mind. And when you put those things together, oh boy. I just, I don't understand why anybody would give this man their vote. Now, I completely understand. Believe it or not, guys, I completely understand why somebody wouldn't vote for Trump. There are reasons not to like Trump. Just him, his demeanor is enough reason to go, I can't vote for that guy. That cocky, that arrogant son of a bitch. That motherfucker who drops F-bombs, that's not president-like. So I can get that. I do. I understand why people wouldn't want to vote for Trump. Now, there's some people who tell me they're not voting for Trump and their reasons are absolute bullshit. He's a white nationalist. No, he's not. Stop it. He's a racist. No, he's not. Stop it. He incites violence. No, he doesn't. Stop it. If you're not voting for Trump, at least do it for a real reason. If you're gonna just make shit up, then yeah, that's nonsense. But there are reasons not to vote for Trump. I'm not voting for Trump. There you go. And you don't have to like that, but I'm not voting for him. I understand there's reasons not to vote for him. I don't understand why anybody would take that vote and move it over to Biden. It makes zero sense, especially when almost everything that they say about Trump applies to Biden, and it's not hypothetical. It's not questionable. It's just flat out fact. Let's start with lying, shall we? Let's start with lying. Joseph Biden is a man who will say anything, and I do mean anything, to get elected. This is a man who once told people that his wife was killed by a drunk driver. Told people his wife was killed by a man who, quote, drank his lunch. Joseph Biden said this after the man was dead. Joe Biden lost his first wife and his daughter in a car accident that his sons happened to be in too, but they managed to live. And by all accounts, it was his wife's fault. There was no suggestion ever that the man behind the wheel of the truck that hit her had done anything wrong. According to accounts, she had a stop sign and ran it. And then he hit her, and unfortunately, her and her daughter died. But this son of a bitch, to get votes, went out there and told people that the guy that hit them was drunk. He used his wife and daughter to get votes, and not only used them, defamed the man who was in the car wreck with them. The man who had to live the rest of his life knowing that two people died in a car wreck he did hit them. It wasn't his fault, but he hit them. And he passes away, and Joe Biden starts telling this story about how that guy was drunk. Luckily, that guy's daughter came out and went, "No, motherfucker. You don't get to tell that story." Came out and lied about how his wife and daughter died so that he could get votes. What kind of prick do you have to be to do that? And this is at a time where we can't even go, maybe he's losing his mind. This was decades ago that he did this shit. Because he wanted votes. I need you to vote for me. My wife and daughter were killed by a drunk driver. I understand your pain. Lied about how they died, man. And defamed a guy in the process. Defamed him. His daughter, the guy that was in the accident, that guy's daughter had to hear Joe Biden lie about her father. Yes, it was 1972 when it happened. It was a long time ago. But I believe the lies he started telling about it was either in the 80s or the 90s. I forget which. But yeah, this son of a bitch went out there and lied about this man. There's several of you who are saying, I never knew that about him. Oh, yeah, it's absolutely true. You can look it up. Somebody else said he's been using Bo as a shield. Absolutely. Absolutely. You go back and watch the DNC convention. We talked about it because those motherfuckers, they talked about Bo all the time. Joe just loved Bo. Bo was the greatest thing since sliced bread. The way Kamala talked about him, there's no way to come across with anything other than, oh, they were fucking. And I mean, maybe that's because I know Kamala's past, or maybe that's just because she was basically drooling on a dead man's cock the whole time. Either way, it was kind of creepy. Either way, it was creepy as fuck. And then Joe gets up there and he gives a nice long speech, which includes a whole long part about Bo. And then the rest, his living son, he didn't have a fucking thing to do with him during that thing. Oh, hell no. Oh, he barely mentioned Hunter. He mentioned Hunter by name once. He mentioned him in passing, never. He's hiding behind Bo's record in the military. He keeps doing that. He's using his dead son to try to get votes. That's not just creepy, it's disgusting. But at least as far as we know, he's not lying about Bo. Yeah, he's not lying about Bo. He's just hiding behind a dead kid. He mentioned Hunter existing. Kind of. Hunter got named off with a whole list of other family members that Joe wanted to thank. That was it. And nothing good to say about Hunter. Maybe that's because there's not much good to say about Hunter. This has nothing to do with whether or not Joe is fit for. Excuse me. Holy shit. I got the hiccups, guys. There we go. This has nothing to do with whether or not Joe is fit for office. But Hunter Biden's a shitbag. It's a man who left his wife to hook up with his brother's widow, and then he cheated on his brother's widow. Yeah. Yeah. That's as low as you can get, right? Cheating on your brother's widow? I mean, it's bad enough you hooked up with her. It's bad enough you left your wife for. If I remember correctly, it was also, there's rumors that he was cheating on his wife with her, but he left his wife to go be with his brother's widow and then cheated on her. Like, oh, wow. Dude. And that is probably one of the best things that Hunter has ever done in his life, because remember, we're talking about comparatively speaking here, guys. So keep that in mind. That is one of the best things that man has ever done. This is a man who got kicked out of the military because of his drug habit. He's been in rehab 3 or 4 times. He's been in there for coke. He's been in there for meth. He's a shitbag. So there's a reason Joe doesn't talk about him. But if you're going to talk about one son, you really should talk about the other. Thank you, Bearcock. My wife had an ultrasound yesterday, and the ultrasound technician, bigot that she is, assigned my son's gender just because he has a penis. Oh, man. Did you correct her on that? Congratulations on the son, my friend. Oh, man. Boys are fun. Boys got no common sense. No common sense. They're so fun to watch because the difference between boys and girls, there's a lot of them, but one of the biggest ones, and you'll notice this if you have both, girls will contemplate something usually before they do it, where boys will get any stupid idea in their head, pop up, and just go do it. And it's funny to watch. Oh, and boys just don't, that's what I'm looking for here. We don't think very hard about stuff. We just get an idea, and we don't always pop up and do it. Sometimes we're just sitting there and we'll do something stupid. And it was funny watching my wife learn that about my sons, because there were many times when she'd look at my sons and ask me, is he okay? Like, leave him alone. He's fine. He's fine. He's just a boy, sweetheart. She grew up with a sister, no brothers, no close cousins because she was a military brat too. She didn't see him when they were little, and we do really stupid things like run into walls, or when I was little, I used to beat my head into this cement. True story. Boys are just different. That's all I'm saying. Back to Biden. We've talked about this one before, but Joseph Biden told a group. Now, the funniest part about this, and I haven't really addressed this. Do you guys remember me telling you about the lie that Biden told about going to college? I don't think we've ever discussed why he told that lie. Joe Biden is talking to a group of supporters, and he tells this lie about how he went to college on a full scholarship. Do a college on the full scholarship and graduated at the top of his class and came out with 3 degrees. Faithless said he was heckled, right? Yes. Yes, he was. Somebody challenged him on his IQ. And that was his response, to come back and tell an absolute lie. He did not graduate at the top of his class. He was like 6th from the bottom, something like that. He did not go on a full scholarship. He went on half scholarship. And he did not get 3 degrees. He got 1. And yes, there is a clip of that. There's a clip of both showing the heckling and one showing just Biden's lie. And either way, I mean, it doesn't much matter, but we've seen Joe Biden do that before. We saw him do it with the chick. Have you ever been to a caucus? And she's like, yeah. And you're like, no, you haven't. You lying dog-faced pony soldier. This is a man who will turn against people who actually support him immediately. They talk about Trump doing that. He turns on everybody. Have you seen Joe Biden? This is a man who has yelled at his fucking supporters. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Doing a bit of research, the records of the crash are missing. Color me shocked. Yeah. That's yeah, I didn't know that they were missing, but yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Joe Biden is an effeminate liar. He doesn't know how not to. And he is. People talk about, Trump's ego. I just mentioned a little bit ago. But Joe Biden, you want to talk about an ego. This is a man who called a woman a lying dog-faced pony soldier because she asked him a question. He asked her, have you been to a caucus? And she said yes. No, you haven't. You lying dog-faced pony soldier. I'm sorry. What? How did that even make sense, Joe? I don't know what a lying dog-faced pony soldier exactly is, but how does that make any sense? Riley says, I felt bad for Joe, but he really deserves everything he gets. He deserves more than he gets. Much more than he gets. I'm going to share a video with you guys. I'm not going to show the whole thing because I do not have permission. It's from Dinesh D'Souza. Is that how you say his name? I got to find it. I had it, and like I always do, I clicked on something else, so I lost it. But this is a video that shows a lot of the problems with Joe Biden, and it's stuff that you're not gonna see very often because it gets buried. It gets absolutely buried. Here it is. Like I said, I can't show the whole thing. I'd love to show the whole thing, but like I did not get permission. I wish I did. I wish you went, sure, go ahead and play that. But and I didn't ask him directly. I kind of tagged him in something mentioning it. But anyway, you guys can watch it there. It starts off with something we've mentioned on the show, but we haven't really delved into. Joe Biden is a plagiarist. Oh, Eagle beat me to it in chat there. He's a plagiarist. Not just plagiarizing speeches, which some people know about, but he plagiarized stuff when he was in law school. Remember the law school that he finished at the top of his class where he actually finished near the bottom? Some of his work was fucking plagiarized. He's done speeches where he talks about how his wife was the first woman in her generation or in her family to go to college. And he took that from somebody else. Now, I don't know if she is the first one to go to college or not, or whether it fit that way. But he stole that line from somebody else. And you know it because it goes with another little part. This man plagiarizes his fucking speeches. Now, he thinks he's going to get away with it because for the most part, he goes either overseas to steal from him or he goes back in time far enough. Because is it Roosevelt he stole from? There's somebody in our own country that he stole from too for one of his speeches. I can't remember who, but he's a liar. The man is a fucking liar. He's a thief. He is a liar and a thief. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. This time he deserves to be president. The other 2 or 3 times he's run and the press has, destroyed him for these very things. Don't worry about those. Those are all better now. Those are all better. Eagle says in a press that does their actual job. Well, here's the thing, Eagle. They're doing their job. You might not like it, but they are doing their job because our press is basically the PR wing of the Democratic Party. And that's really what I want to get to here, is that I don't blame Biden for people not knowing this stuff. He's the candidate. Why in the fuck would he go out and tell people, oh, yeah, I used to plagiarize shit. Yeah, I've stolen these lines from other politicians. Yeah, I once lied about a dead man and my dead wife and dead child daughter to try to get votes. That's what the press should be doing. And they don't, because they are the PR wing for the Democratic Party. And this year, as soon as it became apparent that Kamala wasn't going to be the president because she dropped out before any votes were cast, they put all of their money on Biden. They put all their money on Biden. There's no evidence of them cheating Bernie this year, but the press sure as fuck wasn't on his side. And look, I don't care because I'm not a Bernie supporter, but I do hate when our press does anything shitty. And they did. If you go back and watch those debates, they were trying to tear Bernie down. And I don't want Bernie as president. I don't. But if Bernie ran against Trump, he'd be getting his ass kicked still. It wouldn't matter. COVID could have killed 2 million people and Bernie'd still be losing. Because people are going, I really don't want a communist in there. But the press killed him. Press killed him, absolutely. And if you need any specific evidence of that, go watch that one debate where he was asked about saying that a woman couldn't be president. Did you say this? No, I didn't say it. Elizabeth Warren, how'd you feel when he said that? Because what was it? Did you say this? And he goes, no, I didn't say that. So you're saying you didn't say that? No, I didn't say that. Elizabeth Warren, how did you feel about how'd you feel when he said that? I mean, and his face at that moment, Bernie, this is why I have no respect for that man at all. Other than the fact that Bernie is a dirty fucking communist. I have no respect for that man because he has no respect for himself. He has shown a willing, for all those people like, he's not a Democrat. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He might register independent, and I've talked about this before. The only reason Bernie Sanders became an independent is because he lost the Democratic primary. Look it up. In Vermont, he lost the Democratic primary, so he ran as an independent and won that way. And he's just ran as an independent ever since. He didn't go independent because he was like, well, I don't believe in the Democratic Party, so I'm going to run against them as an independent. Oh, sorry. I don't believe in the Democratic Party, so I'm going to run as an independent. No, he went, shit, I lost, but I still want to be a representative. And so he ran as an independent. That's what did it. He caucuses with them. He sides with them on almost everything. He's a Democrat. And if you have any question about that, these people cheated to try to beat him in 2016. There is undeniable proof that they cheated him. And he has the nerve to come out and talk about how Donald Trump is trying to cheat democracy in America. I'm like, excuse me. You are literally standing up for the party who did that to you. And you're letting your message get put out there by a press who did that to you this year. You son of a bitch. You fucking son of a bitch. You prideless piece of shit. Now, I understand people on one side say Ted Cruz, he's still a Republican. Of course, he's still a Republican. That's what he was. But there's no proof that Donald Trump cheated Ted Cruz out of the nomination. You know what I mean? There's no proof that the RNC got together and tried to cheat Ted Cruz out of the nomination. The RNC was desperate for anybody but Trump to win. So I understand. I mean, you know, you have your regular politics and stuff, and they have their fights, and So, and afterwards, you're like, all right, we got to be friends. But Bernie Sanders, man, how much more can they tell you that they think you're a piece of shit before you realize they think you're a piece of shit? And you're going to go out there and be on their side and pretend they're the good guys and that Trump's the evil one? For real? That don't even make no goddamn sense. Bernie, why don't you got any fucking pride, man? Anyhow, probably has something to do with being a commie. Are you allowed to have pride in yourself as a communist? You got to give all that pride to the state, right? It's got to be redistributed. There's not one good reason to vote for Biden other than he's not Trump. That's it. Not one good reason. Joseph Biden. Let's see. Do I have that video? I think I do. Thank you, Shrouded Angel. Are you going to play Baldur's Gate after this? Yes, of course. Yeah, as long as I'm still feeling well, of course. I'm enjoying the game, and if it doesn't crash out again like it did last night, we'll be playing. Thank you so much for the donation. Okay, I don't know how the audio is on this, so guys, let me know if you can't hear it. Put that up. All right. Joseph Biden is being questioned by this reporter. They stuck an N95 on him so he can't take that shit off, I'm thinking. I think they stapled it to his face. That's not his normal mask. Sound check. Let me know if you guys can hear okay.
Ask you about packing the courts, and I know that.
Sure.
All right. What he just said is, I want to ask you about packing the courts. Did you guys hear that okay? I don't know if I can turn this up or not. No, that's as loud as it goes. Can't wait for Wednesday. My new PC arrives and Baldur's Gate 3. It is cool, low res. It's a lot of fun, but it is a early access, so it does have some issues. Okay, louder if you can. I can't, and that says yep, you guys can hear it. So if it's too low, give it a turn up your volume just a little bit, and I will be quiet until it's done, and then I'll talk again so you can turn your headphones and stuff back down. Here we go. Turn up in 3, 2, 1.
I've got to ask you about packing the courts, and I know that you said yesterday you aren't going to answer the question until after the election, but this is the number one thing that I've been asked about from viewers in the past couple of days.
Well, you've been asked by the viewers who are probably Republicans who don't want me continuing to talk about what they're doing to the court right now.
Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know?
No, they don't. I'm not going to play his game.
And back to me. Don't the voters deserve to know? No, they don't. Don't the voters deserve to know? No, they don't. This is the man running for president. Monk is bad at auto editing. I didn't do any auto editing. There's no auto editing to do in here. If I was going to put that in a video and I listened and I was much louder than it, then I would boost the audio on it. I know how to do that. I actually once got a compliment that I was the only person they knew who leveled their videos. I was like, really? And I've watched some other people. I'm like, oh, yeah. If you watch a clip video, sometimes it can be a pain in the ass because people don't know how to level the audio in those things. Anyway. I'd like to immediately switch to immediately calling them Republican. Yeah, that was a great thing, wasn't it? They're probably Republicans who don't want me to continue talking about what this president's doing. Here's the thing. This president has every right to do what he's doing. It's part of the election process. Elections do have consequences. And this idiot likes to run around and talk about how there's an election going on. Votes have already been cast. Those people deserve to have their voices heard. Well, they do for the next president. And the next president will get to pick the next justice, but not this justice, because that seat's going to be filled by Amy Coney Barrett unless something really bad comes out about her. And so far, the worst bad that they can say is she has children. Yeah. But this is a particularly interesting topic that shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. For those of you who don't understand what packing the court is, what they're talking about here is adding more justices to make it so that the court swings left instead of right. Because if Barrett gets in, the court is going to be 5.5 to 3.5 conservative. Now, that half is Roberts. You never know where he's going to flounder to. But with that 5, it doesn't matter where he flounders to. It's a conservative court. So what Democrats want to do, say like Kennedy, who actually said they will do this if Barrett is approved, they want to add more justices until the liberals have a majority. Because Kennedy's a child. He's a fucking child. So they're going to add more justices. And if you do the math on that, they actually have to get the court up to 13, because just adding 2 won't do it. Adding 2 wouldn't do it. And you want to have that uneven number so that there's not ties. 2 more would only make it 5.5, 5.5. So if they wanted to be ahead, they need 4 more. And it's a valid question to ask Joe. And Joe has answered this question before, earlier on, back during the primaries. Mr. Biden, do you believe in adding people to the court? They didn't call it packing the court at that time. They said adding to the court. And he said no. Kamala was asked the same thing, and she said she'd be open to it. She'd be open to it. So if she got to be president, there you go. But Biden said no. Well, things have changed. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, which opened another spot on the court, which makes the court even more conservative. So, Mr. Biden, now, and especially with your colleagues actually calling for this, would you be in favor of it? I'm not going to answer that. The people don't deserve to know. Wow. That's a weird thing for a candidate. You'll find out after the election, he said. You'll find out after the election. I'm not going to tell you what I think until after the election. Isn't that weird? I read a story, and I talked about it the other day. I read a story where it said Republicans are obsessed with this hypothetical question of what Joe Biden would do. Once again, every question asked of Joe Biden right now about what he would do is hypothetical, because the man's not in office. He's not in office. Everything is hypothetical. But that was a big point for them. This is hypothetical. Everything is. So that's a fucking nonsense point. But it didn't stop him from making it. And that's what I'm talking about here. Joe Biden isn't running a good campaign. Trump's not running a good campaign, and that's hurting him for sure. But Joe's not running a good campaign. The press is. And most of it isn't even like rah Joe, because they don't seem all that enthusiastic about him either. It's just hiding. It is a campaign of hidden bullshit. Hiding everything we know about Joe Biden. Everything that should be making headlines. Shh. Just let it happen. Shh. Don't resist. We read a story the other day that should be that should be their actual campaign slogan. Stop resisting. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? If they came out with stop resisting, I would laugh my ass off. It's like, oh, they're up for rape, are they? You know how many times that would be put on that picture of Biden whispering in that little girl's ear? Hashtag stop resisting. It's insane. It is. And unfortunately, I've told you guys this with so many things that the press are involved in. There's no way to stop it. There's no way to stop it. The press has control. There's a lot of people. Nobody watches CNN anymore. No, they watch CNN on YouTube. They get CNN from CNN's website. They might not be watching on the cable box. They're still watching. The New York Times, their subscription numbers are down. Yeah, how are their digital subscriptions doing? Oh, shit, I didn't look at those. These people still have a stranglehold on the narrative in the country. And even Fox News, who would usually be all over shit like this, who 8 years ago definitely would have been all over shit like this, they've turned pretty liberal these days. They've gone fairly liberal. They're repeating the same shit that is said on most other stations. The only exception, of course, is their primetime lineup. But that stuff doesn't get talked about in the news unless they're trying to tear Tucker Carlson down for whatever he said now. That's what they do. You won't believe what Tucker Carlson said now. And then you watch it and like, he didn't say anything wrong. And the headline, he went in on white supremacy. Like, he didn't even say nothing about it. What are you talking about? It's dog whistling. Man, they love that term, don't they? It's dog whistling. Yeah. For the record, at the beginning of the show, I wasn't muted. There was a dog whistle. So thankfully, none of you guys heard it, because that would mean you guys would know. Only dogs hear the dog whistle, shitheads. Dog whistles only Democrats can hear. Yeah. Remember, these are the boys that got their starts in the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, maybe not got their starts, but started the Klan. Got their start in, well, slave-owning Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, you know, where the slaves came from. And yes, there were some slaves up north, but let's be honest, the southern states were your slave states. There wasn't a whole lot of cotton to pick up north. That's the other part that the press keeps covering for him, and it's really insane because it makes no sense. Joe Biden, I don't know if he's actually a racist, but he plays one on TV. He definitely plays one on TV. Some of the stuff he said this election is bad enough. When he said you can't go into a 7-Eleven without an Indian accent, the press was like, that's Joe, fucking Joe. If Rush Limbaugh had said that, and not even a political candidate, just a political commentator, one of them said that, oh man, that'd have been all over the news. Oh my God, look how racist this is. Even at that time. Even at that time. When Joe called Barack Obama clean and articulate, or was it articulate or well-spoken? I can't remember his exact wording there. If a Republican had said that, can you imagine? Can you imagine? One of their pieces of evidence that Donald Trump is a racist is that he ran an ad for, was it the Central Park 5? Was it 5? I'm trying to remember. He ran a full page ad in the New York Times about the need for them to be jailed. And it's like, oh, obviously it's because they were black. Yeah, he ran full page ads for every black person in New York who needed to be prosecuted, right? Right? Or maybe it's that was a big story And Trump really believed that at the time. Now, there's evidence that indicates it wasn't them. I have to look into it more to make my own fucking decision on it. But at the time, there was nothing racist about saying, yeah, these kids probably did it, given the evidence that the public knew at the time. There's nothing to say that was fucking racist. Oh, but it was racist because they happened to be black. Joe Biden saying that a black man was one of the clean ones, no problem with that. Joe Biden saying that poor kids are as smart as white kids, and then having to correct himself real fast and go, and Asian kids and black kids. Oh, so poor kids are as smart as all ethnicities? All races? What the fuck are you saying there, Joe? Whoops, slipped and said white kids. Well, why would that even be the thing in your head, Joe? Joe Biden came out and with no accident in his heart said that if you don't know who you're voting for, you ain't black. It's got an immediate pass for that. Kamala Harris came out and told us she was listening to to a dead rapper before he was ever even, rapping, so that she could be cool with the kids and talk about how she smokes joints. There's a woman who used to lock people up for simple marijuana possession and use that to further her career. She was happy to do it. And then she had the nerve to go on a radio show and laugh about her own use and obviously lie. Obviously lied about her own drug use so that she could be cool and hip with the kids. She used to lock people up for it. Yeah. Let that shit sink in. How much attention is the media given that, really? How much is she asked about that? How much is she asked about her record as a prosecutor in general? She's not. Joe Biden helped pass the 94 crime bill. He used to be real proud of that. He used to tout it as part of his record. He don't do that no more. Don't do that no more. No, that was the Clinton crime bill. Nah, motherfucker. You had your hands all over that. Bill Clinton couldn't write that. That had to go through Congress. He can help you. He can tell you what he wants in it. But you're the one who wrote it and helped pass it, motherfucker. You were proud of it. What happened to that pride? Oh, that's right. It's not a good time to mention that. How often is he asked about that and pressed on it in any way? He's not. He still hasn't been asked about in the press, has not been asked at all about suggesting black people have no diversity in their thought. That all black people are exactly the same. Has not been asked about that once. He's just allowed to skate on it. Meanwhile, they're making Donald Trump answer for people he doesn't know. Will you disavow the Proud Boys? Like he's their leader or something. And not because of anything he said, but because they just happen to exist and he exists and they need some way to try to make him a racist by painting an organization run by a black Cuban, half black, half Cuban. It's Cuban, right? I know he's Hispanic. Correct me if I'm wrong on the Cuban. But the Proud Boys, their leader, half black, half Latino. That racist group. Somebody said, yeah, okay, so black and Cuban. He has to answer for that racist group with their mixed race leader. Meanwhile, Joe Biden doesn't have to answer for his own fucking words. For his own fucking words, they're letting him get off. His own deeds, they're letting him get off. Not asking him, not pressing him, not bringing this up on nightly newscasts. Not showing what he's done. It's all buried. Joe Biden's not running a good campaign. The media is, because the media is the PR wing of the Democratic Party. And people will be out there, no, look, monkey, you're just on Donald Trump's team saying it's fake news. No, monkey's not on Donald Trump's team. Monkey's against Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a horrible candidate. He is a horrible person. And I have no problem saying that. And we haven't even got to the dementia yet. We have not even got to the dementia. I'm just talking about the facts about Joe Biden when we know he was perfectly sane. Okay, there are a few of those that were from this year. So we would have to say maybe the You Ain't Black and the what's the other one? The Diversity of Thought. Maybe those two. Excuse me. Maybe those two are dementia related. Kamala is pure evil, says Mr. Dax. You know, the only thing I went in on Kamala there was her drug use and locking people up. But there's so much more to it. Kamala Harris was going to let a man die. A man she knew was innocent. She was going to let him die. She had exculpatory evidence and wasn't going to turn it over until a court made her. Got to talk about evil. She wanted to hold people in prison longer than they were supposed to be there so the state could have free workers. So the state could have a labor force unpaid in prison. Talk about evil. Faithless says, I call that attempted murder. So do I. So do I. She's evil. She is. She will do anything to get ahead. And if you don't believe me, ask Willie Brown. This is a woman who literally got her start in politics by sucking off a married man. Now, I don't know that she sucked him off, so I should amend that. She might have just been taking it in the ass from him. But she started a physical relationship with Willie Brown, which he has confirmed. She used to fuck him, and he gave her recommendations because of that. He supported her in her runs for office because of that. Now, Willie said, look, I'd support all my friends. Like, yeah, but you guys weren't just friends, Willie. She was fucking you, which, by the way, sounds like sexual harassment to me. But, I don't know. I don't know that she sucked him or took it in the ass. She might have just went vaginal. But we do know they were in a romantic relationship while he was married. And that this motherfucker had the nerve to be bringing his mistress around his wife. But it's rumored she knew he was a philanderer. I think is the right word. He was a cheating shithead anyway, but she stayed with him because he's Willie Brown. He had money. Money and power. Women like money and power, y'all. At least one of 3 holes were involved. That's all I'm saying, Karamon. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what Kamala likes. Maybe she just likes butt stuff, you know? Maybe she got daddy issues. We hear all about her mom. She don't talk about her dad too much. She got daddy issues, so she take it right up the butt all the time. Hashtag Kamala takes it in the butt. Kamala. I said Kamala, didn't I? Kamala takes it in the butt. I want to be respectful when I talk about her getting ass fucked. Ex Bubba Hotep, thank you so much. You don't know, she could have been pegging him. That's possible. That's possible. But I'm guessing with getting the recommendation to go up higher and stuff, he was probably dipping his wick a little bit. Her father doesn't like her politics, from what I hear. Yeah, her father denounced her when she came out and was talking about how she used to get high. He accused her of perpetuating Jamaican stereotypes, which, by the way, the press didn't care about. They didn't care at all about that. She's horrible. She's a dirty woman. And I believe, oh, thank you so much, Ex Bubba Hotep. That's the one I already read. It just came up on my alerts. But thank you so much anyway. This is a woman who had to drop out of the race before the race actually began. She wasted $30 million, you guys. $30 million. I think there were only 2 candidates who stayed in the race, female candidates who stayed in the race, who made more money than her. I think Warren did, and I think Klobuchar did. Each of them, I think it was like 10 million more that they raised, but she raised $30 million. Wasted it all before the race even started. And had to, well, quit. And then somehow, she is the one that gets picked by Joe Biden to be the next president of the United States. Because let's be honest, guys, even if Joe Biden were to make it, Joe Biden has already said he's only running for 4 years. His vice presidential candidate will be the candidate in 2024 if he wins in 2020. So either way, they're putting their money on Kamala being the next president. Faithless said, or she embezzled it. Yeah, I wonder what happened to all that money. That was a lot of money that just disappeared in him. It is amazing how many people. Tulsi Gabbard kept her campaign. I believe she was either the last or second to last to finally drop out. She only spent $10 million. Yeah. I believe that the Democratic Party, when they saw her implode, that they knew that there was something wrong with Joe, and they pushed him to pick her, and that she was picked because they don't think he's going to last in office, which should scare the shit out of people, because that woman's a little commie. She's a little commie. Go back and watch the debates. Go back and watch, if for nothing else, just to watch Tulsi Gabbard destroy her. Funny, but that was such a great moment. Tulsi destroyed her in like a minute. That's all it took. She just repeated her record, the same record you heard me repeat a few minutes ago, and absolutely destroyed Kamala's campaign. Just destroyed it. But somehow she becomes in position for the second most powerful position. I want to talk about that too. I was thinking about this when I was peeing the other day. Swear to God, guys, I get the best ideas when I pee. And I don't mean to tell you that, but I have to, because it's so weird. Do you guys get great ideas when you pee? I was thinking about that, and how if Joe were to have to leave office, whether he passed or whether they're just like, yeah, this motherfucker's got no brains left, we got to 25th his ass. The first female president of the United States will not have been elected. Now, they could say, oh, she was elected with Joe, but come on. We vote for the candidate. We don't vote for the vice president. Most of America can't tell you who the vice president is. And I say that based on those man on the street things. You ever see those when they ask people how, or different questions about America? The one that I get it if they don't know presidents, although I don't understand how they don't know who George Washington is. But it's like, okay, who's the vice president? And they're like, It always turns out to be something like the South Park, the very first Man Bear Pig episode, where Mr. Mackey's up there. He's about to introduce Al Gore. He says, and he was Clinton's vice president. Do you guys know who it was? And they're all guessing and everybody gets it wrong. Most people don't even know who their vice president is. They're not voting for the vice president. They're voting for the president. And the first woman president of the United States could end up being a gimme. A fucking gimme. The vice president, usually, we never hear about him. Do you guys know what Mike Pence did today? Do you know what he did yesterday? We all know what he did on debate night, but other than that, do you guys know where Pence is any day of the week? I follow politics pretty closely, and yeah, I have no fucking idea what the guy does. I'm sure he's flying around the world somewhere. It's going to be a gimme. The only way a woman could get into the presidency is for a man to win it and give it to her. Ain't that fucked up? Is that really how women want this? Gamer Vleen, thank you. The best Gore parody was the SNL debate with Bush. I don't know if I've seen that one. I probably did, but it's been a while. There used to be a it wasn't a YouTube channel. It was just a website who used to make Al Gore videos, and he was a robot in their videos. They were great. I don't even remember what it was called. It's been a long time. More reason to replace the 19th. Women don't give a crap about fair play. I think I would be offended. I'd be absolutely offended if the first person that I needed to identify with got in on a gimme. You know? I'm glad that the first black president was elected. Whether I liked Obama or not, at least it was won fairly. You know? It's not like, well, they just gave it to a black guy. No, he won. That's just fact. And I'm glad. I'm glad. Because I don't want it to be that way. But the first woman's going to be. Yep. She's just going to slip right in there. Which with Kamala kind of makes sense. I mean, this is a woman who hasn't done anything honest in her whole career. So I think Pence is enjoying the best job in the world, right? God, wouldn't it be great to be vice president? All you have to do is the president go, okay, I need you to go over there. I need you to fly over there and talk to those guys. Like, all right, man, fuel up the jet. I'll be there in just a minute. Go jump on Air Force 2, take a nap until you get there. Go talk to whoever. President says this. Hop back on the jet, come back, tell the president, and then go take a nap. That'd be awesome, man. I'd love to be vice president. As long as the president stayed alive. Because I don't want to be president. That's too much. Monkey would not. That's too much responsibility for Monkey. Monkey can't handle that kind of responsibility. And the world at large certainly could not handle Monkey's mouth. They got upset because Trump basically said to Iran, fuck with us, see what happens. And he actually used the word fuck. And they're like, oh my God. President Trump said fuck. Except for, did you guys see it? None of them would say it. He said the F word. He said the F word. Can you believe he said the F word? I'm like, you're a grown up. You can say fuck. You can say fuck. Gamer Vleen, thank you. Sane women don't identify with ones that have power knees. We get pissed that we have to prove knowledge because of sluts create a stigma. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at there, Gamer. It's, you know, and Kamala makes that even worse because that hoe slept her way to the top. And there's no denying that. So, yeah, I understand. And fuck. Chicago Mike, thank you. Monkey, I get more ideas in the shower. Most of the time I'm in the shower, it's because I'm in blinding pain. I used to get really great ideas in the shower. Now it's when I pee. Maybe it's just the bathroom has idea powers. Maybe the next time I need an idea, I'll just go sit in the bathroom. I don't know. It's Zen-like, I guess. You'd have to attend the Senate every time there's a full session. That's all right. There's not too many full sessions of the Senate that the vice president has to be sitting there. And most of the time, they don't call him in unless there's something major going on. It's just like the leader of the Senate and the president pro tempore of the Senate aren't there very often. You ever seen when the House is being run by somebody like, that's not Nancy Pelosi? It's like, give the gavel to that bitch. I'll be back. It's true. It's not like he was on primetime TV. You know what, Faithless? Even if he was, I wouldn't have cared. And especially when we're talking about Iran, I like that our president said, fuck with us and see what happens. Because Iran needs to be talked to that way. Just like Kim Jong-un needed to be talked to that way. Go ahead, motherfucker. My dick's bigger than yours. Because that's what they understand. They don't understand, okay, you guys were mean, so we're going to give you billions of dollars in small unmarked bills on a pallet overnight that will just drop for you. Because what they get from that lesson is, keep saber rattling, they'll give us more money. They need a Reagan. They need a Trump. Because we have been way too fucking nice to these people. Fuck with us, see what happens. Stay over there, do your little stupid shit. We don't care. But you fuck with us. Ask Soleimani. Oh, wait, you can't. He's blown to bits and we never did find his ears. He won't be able to hear you. Dangerous says, let me get this straight. We be assholes and they give us money? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what we did. I for fuck's sake, Iran has been pulling this shit for decades. North Korea had been pulling this shit for decades. And the last time that they were put in their place was Reagan. That was the last time. Even Bush wasn't like hardcore with them, like, yeah, we're gonna fuck you up. He was just like, we're not gonna give you money this time. And Obama comes along like, hey, have a couple of billion, and then you have people, well, that was Iran's money. Nah, fuck them. Fuck them. That money should have been given to the victims of the planes that they've blown up. Guys, we're an hour and a half. I've been talking by myself this whole time. I think we're going to wrap up. Before I close, I just want to say this. I don't care who you vote for. Seriously. I don't care if you vote for that moron Joe Jorgensen. I don't care if you write somebody in. I don't care if you vote for Trump. Just please, please, please do not vote for Joe Biden. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are very, very kind, and I really do appreciate it. You are how I eat and how I heat my house, which, by the way, is coming in real handy this last week. Like I said, we are going to get the heaters installed next Monday. Yes, not this coming Monday, the following one. And I cannot wait. Monday and Tuesday, they'll be here to get that set up. So cannot wait. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Just normal maintenance after that, hopefully for years. Eagle, we get it real soon, and take a huge weight off of our minds, because it is not easy to get people out here to fix shit. You guys want to learn how to, or you guys want to make money? Seriously, this is what you do. Go to trade school for anything, doesn't matter what. And then go live in the middle of a couple of rural counties. You will make money hand over fist. Faithless says furnace or boiler. It's a boiler. So we'll have that's one of the reasons it actually took longer with this guy. If it had been just a regular furnace, they already have that stuff in stock, so they could have done it last week, actually. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for the donations. And I will be over on Ranting Monkey Games right after this, playing a little bit more Baldur's Gate 3. We're going to pick up where we left off. We are in the ruins, which is going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be nice. Caroline says Monk has an outdated system. Actually, I love my boiler, and a lot of people apparently up this way have boilers. It is really nice heat. It's not as dry as air heat. It's nice. Anyway, so guys, again, thanks for watching. Come watch Ranting Monkey Games, and yeah, I think it's fun. Of course, I'm kind of, that's what I'm looking for here, biased. I'll see you next time, guys. I don't know what to sing about, but I'm singing anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day.